Hi guys, Jenny with On Fire Fit, and welcome to day 5 of week 4 of our battle plan. We are finishing up with Gideon today, and there are some lessons from his life, and I wrote this in the information that you can download that is in the description box below. But there were some lessons from his life that I was reading about from a Bible commentary, and I really liked them because they apply to us so well. God calls in the middle of our present obedience. As we are faithful, He gives us more responsibility. It makes perfect sense, but somehow we don't always connect the dots that if we are not obedient in the thing that God has asked us to do now, we are not going to be able to do the next step for Him. And we oftentimes ask God for a lot of things, but we're not willing to do the small steps of obedience right now. Start to think about that. How does that apply to your life? It's very important that you take those little steps of obedience now so that God can give you more responsibility and He can trust you in order to continue to move you in that direction. God expands and uses the abilities He has already built into us. So the story with Gideon, he had all kinds of things that he said to God, well, I don't think I can because I'm the youngest and I'm from the weakest clan and all of these other excuses. And yet God used what Gideon already had built in, and He has the same built-in plan for us. So whatever it is that are your strengths that He can use, He's going to use them, but we just have to be willing. God also uses us in spite of our limitations and failures. A lot of times our failures or our limitations are the things that launch us into the future and the purpose that we have. And it keeps us humble and reminds us that we can't do this alone. For me, I have probably spent more time feeling my purpose because of my limitations and failures in the past. It's almost as if God's pulling me out of a pit has launched me like, boom, out a cannon into what He wants for my life. And I almost feel sometimes like if I hadn't noticed all my limitations and how much it doesn't work without Him, I would still be floating around through life. So He uses us in spite of our limitations, and we can't allow those things to hold us back anymore. Even though we make great, oh goodness, let's try that again. Even those who make great spiritual changes can easily fall into sin when they don't consistently follow God. So that's another thing that we learn from the story of Gideon, that even though you might be making progress, you have to always be on the alert and anticipate. We talked about this a lot through this battle plan, anticipating that there's always going to be temptations and things that are going to rear up in front of us. And we need to be on alert so that we can plan and resolve and be on high alert to stop it, knock it down, and stay consistently following God. So as you finish up this week, you can go through and look at your limitations, but how God actually can use them and what kinds of abilities He has given you and how you can use those for His glory. I want you to also spend days 6 and 7 reflecting on the entire week. Go back and look over things, read the Bible verses, and reflect on what God might be saying to you over this past week. And I thank you so much for being with me. I hope you go out and live on fire.